Hi there everyone, it's Nathara again. This is my third video today, fourth video, something like that. So if I'm a little addled, I apologize. Let me know and I'll try to review this one. I think it's actually going to be the last one, or maybe I'll fit rhythm in as well. Anyways, irregardless. I wanted to talk to y'all about storytelling. Storytelling is a very ancient art form that is essential to the development of society and culture, to put it plainly. It's how we pass experiences and knowledge from one person to another. And we currently have this electronic age and print age where we can read things and watch them on TV and see them on the internet. But once upon a time, these stories were passed along from generation to generation, from person to person, orally, through speech patterns and techniques. And that's what I want to talk about, is this ancient art of storytelling, which is very fundamental in witchcraft, on a cultural level. Not something that you typically set out to do, but just something that you do when it needs doing. And I hope that makes sense, because sometimes I don't. I've been studying storytelling since I was very young. I love mythology, I love fables, I love fairy tales, anecdotal stories, things like the Darwin Awards. These things are really important, and it's fun to share them with other people. We do still do this in some capacity. We get together and we chat with our friends and we tell stories about what's happened to us throughout the days, the weeks, the months, anecdotal things in relation to experiences. We tell about that one time when we ran into that one guy and he did that one thing. That's storytelling. But this, what I want to talk about, is taking that to the next level, where you're going to impart energy, and you're going to create atmosphere and bring back some of the wonder and knowledge in the art of storytelling. And this is a very complex and subjective subject, so I'm going to try to be clear and succinct, but I might biff it, okay? Storytelling is what the ancients used to do, and it typically is done by an older person, kind of like a wise woman or a wise man or a sage of some sort. But a lot of tribal cultures had a specific storyteller. In medieval ages, this was often a jester who told stories, or a bard, or a minstrel, who was responsible to share the stories of the land. And they had an art form. Now, part of this art form includes intonation. And we talked about that earlier in another video, so if you need to go back and check it out, go ahead and pause me. I'll wait. That's the beauty of the internet, so go ahead. Alright, I'm assuming you're back now. And intonation is very important, because it brings the energies of that story and the point to the story to other people, as well as creating a bond between the listeners and the storyteller and the culture that the story comes from. So I really suggest that at the very least you take a peek at storytelling. Take a look, read some myths. A lot of times, especially if you're in a really liberal area like either of the coasts, there will be festivals, outdoor festivals, fairs, these kinds of things. For me, there's a toy store in the center of town that does a storytelling day every week. I suggest that you go visit these and kind of observe the storytellers, listen to the story, decide what information and energy is being shared. Really do some research on this and analyze it, because storytelling can be so important, especially when dealing with young people or trying to convey a point. Sometimes a story is the best method to do so. And I would really just love to see the art of storytelling brought back, especially in our current internet age. And so, yeah. So a lot of times we're going to see, I'm going to share a story with you today. It's a really brief little fable, kind of a parable. If you guys have ever been to church at all, a lot of times you will experience storytelling. The Bible has a lot of really interesting stories in it, and they're kind of fun to pass on. I know I'm a pagan, I'm not supposed to dig Christian stories, but I do. So they're great stories, and they have great meanings to them. The story I want to tell you today is one that I remember from when I was really little. And I just did some brief research on it and discovered that it's been referred to quite a bit in a lot of different new band songs and a couple really famous movies and stuff. So this might sound familiar to you, but it's one of my all-time favorites, and I cannot tell you how happy I am that it's appearing in this popular media as a storytelling device. So I want to tell you about the scorpion and the frog. There's a couple different versions of this, but I'm going to tell you the version I learned. So, there's a frog hanging out by a river, and along comes a scorpion. And the scorpion is standing there on the bank of the river, looking across to the other side, wishing that he could get over there because he can't swim. And he sees Frog doing what frogs do, sitting there on the side of the bank. And he asks Frog, "Frog, do you think you can help me get to the other side of the river?" And the frog said, "You're a scorpion. I don't think I should really have anything to do with you." And the scorpion said, No. You can trust me. I promise. I'm not going to do anything to you. I won't sting you or anything. I just want to get to the other side of the river." And the frog still showed hesitation. He thought, "I don't know. I'm really not planning to go to the other side of the river. You're still a scorpion." And the scorpion said, "Well, look. You know that I'm not going to sting you when we go across the river because I cannot swim. Otherwise, I would not be asking you. So, if I sting you, you will die, and then I will surely drown. So you can be assured that I will not sting you if you help me across the river. Please help me across the river." So Frog thought this was a very reasonable argument. He thought, surely the scorpion would not do anything to harm himself. And he decided to take it upon himself and swim Scorpion across the river. If they're going across the river, everything is going well. Frog is very relieved. Scorpion hasn't done anything untoward. He's just been cruising along on Frog's back, kind of enjoying the ride in the water. And all of a sudden, Scorpion stings him. And Frog looks at him, already feeling the poison coursing through his body. And he says, "Scorpion, why did you do that? Now we're both going to die." And Scorpion says, "I know. I'm a scorpion though, and that's what I do." So that's the story of Frog and Scorpion. And an example I hope I came across in the video of the ancient storytelling that's done. Now, you can take that story and you can extrapolate from it what you will. There's several different versions. I would love to hear where y'all have seen this show up in media and whatnot. But really, if you have a chance, practice the art of storytelling. Bring it to a community setting. Bonfires are a great way to do this. We used to tell stories around campfires in camps. I've never actually been to a camp, but that's what I've heard. I have been to bonfires at the beach, and ghost stories are a perfect example of storytelling. And so maybe it's part of your practice of intonation or just a general area of study that you might want to look into. I really suggest looking at storytelling simply because I want it to survive as an art form, and I want us to be able to pass it on from generation to generation to generation forever and ever and always. So check it out, look around, find out what knowledge you can get from it, and just explore. I'm interested in hearing your guys' comments on storytelling, and please, if you have some of your own favorite stories, go ahead and do a video response to me. I love storytelling. I love hearing stories. So let's do a little sharing here, okay? Alright guys, I'll see you soon.